this video, I will teach you what you need to know to start your color knitting journey. I will explain how to read a chart, such as this one. I'll show you different knitting techniques, and I'll teach you about color dominance. Let's start with the chart right here. This is a chart of the front panel of this sweater, and a chart is simply just a map that shows how the pattern will look when it's knitted up. So each square on the chart represents an individual stitch on your work. So the color of this box in the chart just represents which color to use on your knitting. Normally, we read a chart from left to right and from the bottom and up. And this is because it's the knitting direction we work in. It's important that you check that your chart is the same way as your work. So here I'm going to start knitting here, work my way this way and upwards, because I'm knitting this sweater top down. So I want the neck increases right here and the raglan increases to go this way. If I had started here, then it would all be wrong. So make sure that you knit the same direction in the chart as you do on your project. So when you knit, you simply just read. I'll show you here a bit easier. It's good to mark where in the diagram you are. So I'm going to mark here where I am in my diagram. The first I'm going to do is 2 red ones or dark pink. And then I'm going to do 3 light pink, 1 yellow. It's hard for you to see. So when you knit, you simply just check the chart for which color to do on your work. And I'm going to mark here using just a piece of paper to mark which row I am on. You can also use the reading mode on Dreamknit on your profile or on your chart to easily keep track of which row you are on. But I see here that I'm going to start with 2 dark ones. So that's what I'm going to do. So I am going to put my work here. Then I'm going to do, let's see here, I also have a raglan increase. I am simply just going to do 1 with the dark one, which is this first stitch all the way in the side here. And then I'm going to do 1 more, so. And then I'm going to do some light pink ones, 3 of those. And that's it. You just simply pick from, use the same color as the chart tells you to use, and then you knit. So how do we knit with many colors? I here have 3 colors, but I'm going to show you with just 2. So I'm going to take this yellow one a bit away. I'm going to show you with just 2, but it's the same technique for all. You have mainly 2 ways of knitting. You have the continental knitting, which is where you have the yarn on your finger like this, and then you simply just knit like this. You simply just knit like this. And then you have the English knitting, which is where your yarn just hangs from the stitch, and you insert your needle and loop it around. I'm going to show you one more time. You simply just loop it like this and pull through. So many people use either of these 2 when they knit color work. You can have multiple yarns on the same finger and then simply just use the yarn you want like this. Or you can have them on 2 different fingers like so. Many people do this. Or you can just use with looping like this, the English knitting style. So I personally do a combination of these, which I find easier to keep the tension and my floats prettier. What I do is that I have my main color on my finger, and then I knit with this like I do normally, and then I simply loop the colors that I want to knit with. And this way I can have, if I introduce this yellow one here, just ignore this very long float, and then I can just knit like so. Keep in mind that this is not the pattern. I'm not following my chart right now. I'm just showing you how to knit using several colors. So here you simply just have to try and figure out what works best for you. It's as simple as practice makes perfect. What's important is that you don't pull too tight, especially when you knit with floats, such as I do, these strands of color on the backside, such as this one. Make sure that you don't pull them too tight, stretch your stitches. So if I were to knit with this pink one right here, then I don't have my stitches scrunched up like this before doing the loop, because then my knitwear will like tighten together, and we don't want that. Make sure that you stretch your stitches before you do the stitch. This also applies if you knit with all the colors on one finger. Just make sure that you stretch your work often and try to keep the gauge that the pattern asks for. The next thing I want to show you is about color dominance. When you knit color work, one yarn will be more dominant than the others, and you can change which yarn this is. One of the yarns on the back here, one of the yarn has to travel below and above the others. So which color this is will depend on the color dominance. When you hold your knitwear, the color on the left side, so here my light pink one, will be the dominant color. And then this will have floats on below all the other colors on the back side. So you see here I have a light pink float here, but it's below all of these other ones. And this is my dominant color, and then these will be secondary colors. And what's important to keep in mind is that if you switch dominant colors during your work, it will affect how the pattern will look. So make sure that you keep the same dominant color all the way around your work. The dominant color will make the stitches appear a bit bigger and bolder than the other ones, and this is especially smart if you have dots in your color work, so such as these in the middle. That's why I've chosen the light pink one as my dominant color, because I wanted these dots to appear and not disappear in the work. A rule of thumb is that you want your contrast color, or the color that's forming the motif, the color you want to pop, should be your dominant color. I thought it was already enough pattern and stuff going on this sweater, so that's why I chose the light one as my dominant color. But if I wanted this to be a sweater with more popping color work, then I should have switched. And that's it. Color work is just as simple as that. Follow your chart. Remember to catch your floats if you have floats, and practice makes perfect. Take your time, enjoy the color work, and remember blah blah blah. Color work can seem a bit intimidating, but it's really not. Just take your time, enjoy the color work, follow your chart, and remember that practice makes perfect. Always knit a swatch in color work, and good luck!